Let's get the flock out of here. I need to put these receipts at home. I'm starting to build up another receipt collection. Try the way some of these people fly around these corners, especially the young guys. I don't trust. My body aches from mistakes, betrayed by lust. We lie to each other so much. There ain't nothing we trust. I got that song from Megadeth glued into my brain. What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're all having a fine and wonderful day. So, big shout out to my eBay customers. The auctions I have listed have some bids on them. I do have 2 orders that I need to process and get out. But because my baseball card sector of my channel has been screaming for me to do box breaks and rips, I decided to go out and get some Topps Chrome update. Unfortunately, it's kind of my fault. Well, there's no other way around it. It is my fault. I kind of had a little bit of a spat with eyes, man, eyes. Idiot. People are doing what they always do. They don't know how to drive. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I went over to Barnes & Noble and Lids and got me some Topps Chrome update series. We'll be doing some rips on the channel as per your request to all of you. Many of you have been wanting that. So that's exactly what's going to happen. I also found some retail, if I can get to it. Let me pull over here because I don't want to be that guy. And I also got some Topps Chrome blasters from Update. Big shout out to GameStop. They actually gave me a first responders discount. I showed them my driver's license and my 9/11 World Trade Center medical cards. So they hooked me up with a pretty solid discount for some of these blaster boxes, and so here, $53 they took off, which is cool. And I also paid for the membership. It was like, it's $6 for the year, and that brought the price down even more. So instead of paying, if I'm reading this correctly, it was like $400 for these boxes. It came out to $360. So thank you for that, GameStop, for honoring my first responders credentials from the World Trade Center and giving me a massive discount. Essentially, I practically got a blaster box or one mega box for free. So thank you, GameStop, where I live, for that. I really appreciate that. I was thanking everybody, but it's Barnes & Noble. I have a slight complaint. And I understand their justification. It's just frustrating when it happens to you. Apparently, Barnes & Noble has become a hub for scalpers to go to. That apparently, and I kind of snapped at the girl, and I felt bad because, you know, she's got an obvious disability that you can't ignore. You know what I mean? Not making fun of her or anything like that. But, you know, I was throwing some logic at her. I'm like, you know, there are 4 boxes left. I have the membership, and I was starting to get annoyed at her. But then once she explained, it's like, you know, people are coming in here buying these boxes and flipping them. And then, you know, I started to feel like an ass because then she challenged my logic with the store's her logic. And I'm like, ma'am, you just made me feel like a complete and I had to apologize. I apologize because the manager was right there too. I had to say, hey, listen, man, I apologize for snapping at you and sound like a jerk. You know, it's just that as a guy like myself who buys this stuff with a YouTube channel and does pack rips and, you know, stuff like that, you know, it's a shame that people like me can't get their hands on this stuff and that we're only limited to getting so much at one time. It's awful. So, you know, I took 2 boxes, I paid for it, you know, and again, I apologized to her and everything and to the manager. I said, listen, just, you know, forgive me for getting frustrated. It's because, you know, every time I go out, I'm seeing this more and more. It's like keeping the laundry bottles locked behind glass doors. You know, I'm not used to that sort of thing down here. You know, usually the culture in Charlotte is a lot more civilized where you don't have to lock things up. But if they're putting limits on product now, it sucks for anybody that wants to legitimately get this stuff. So, you know, she accepted the apology, and I said, you know, forgive me, ma'am, for being snippy or having an attitude or anything. My demeanor, you know, I didn't come correct. My apologies for that. You know, it's annoying because, you know, you got money to spend and I have an audience to make happy here on YouTube. Everybody's been asking me to rip more wax, and I finally bought a whole bunch of wax that will probably last me for a couple videos. So I should go to Target and see if you know what, I'm going to go to Target. Why not? But, you know, I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should restock. So I went back to go check to see if they had any more Topps Black, and they didn't. They completely sold out. So, so much for that idea. But yeah, I got, I think, five or six blaster boxes from retail Topps Chrome update, and 5 mega boxes. So we'll have some wax to rip. But yeah, I felt like a dick because you know, the girl was so sweet, and I get annoyed at things like that. That's one thing about me you guys are going to learn. When it comes to things like that, where I get punished, or other people, yeah, good driver, yeah, you know why? Because you should be driving hands-free. You don't want to be like a woman, all that kind of shit. Hands-free, baby. That's how you do it. But anyway, yeah, so it forced me to apologize to her, and she was right. You know, it's like, you know, I told her that a guy got, and it's true, if you look at the news, you know, a Pokemon collector got shot for his Pokemon cards, and you see all these LCSs getting robbed. Is it no surprise now that Barnes & Noble has put limits on to what you're able to walk out of their store with? But again, with GameStop, that's not the case. But again, GameStop was nice enough to honor my World Trade Center IDs and hooked me up with a $54 discount on the cards I bought for them. So that was nice of them. I appreciate that. So, but they let me walk out of there with whatever I can fit in my arms, basically. So, but yeah, it's just a shame that this is what the world has come to. They had a lot more blaster boxes over at GameStop. I just didn't want to go too crazy buying cards again. But it's going to come down to me having to restock for eBay. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to flip these boxes. That's not happening. But let me see here. I can't really. Forgive me if I can't see the chat. It's very bright in here. Hello, good driver. Thank you. I try. Well, I started to talk to a girl recently. That looks like it's not going to happen or go anywhere. Because the answers to my questions via text, since I first started talking to her, have been very roundabout and very elusive, and in some ways very dismissive. So I'm not getting straight answers from her, so I have no idea why. Let me... This way I'm not screaming. But when I get home, I'll probably rip open a blaster box or two. Not going any faster, bub. Sorry. The faster you try to drive, the more it defeats the purpose, because there's like 30 cars ahead of us, so what's the point? God, these fucking people. This is why I drive hands-free, folks. This is why I drive hands-free. No need to drive like that. People don't like how fast or slow I'm going, go around. But anyway, Shockwave arrived today. So my inventory of review units and collectibles is going up and up and up. I'm going to have to start really clearing some space. I already got 2 jerseys up for sale via auction at my eBay store. The New York Mets jersey looks like it's going to sell. The Bayern Munich jersey may take a day or two, but I'm not driving any faster. Fuck these people. So he's weaving through traffic just to get to this turn here. Okay. Great logic. Great logic, folks. Anyway. But yeah, that's it with the baseball cards, man. I don't want to get caught in that trap again, where like I'm buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. If the returns aren't worth it, you know, not saying that them 2 boxes of Topps Chrome Black weren't worth it, because there were some pretty decent pulls in them boxes. I just don't want to get caught up in that trap where, you know, I'm buying and buying and buying and buying, and it doesn't get anywhere. But I'm at that point where it's time to clean out some inventory as far as, man, that freaking pollen, man. Jesus, forgive me for that too if I'm picking my nose. The pollen's pretty nasty outside too today. And we're supposed to have a warm-up coming towards midweek, where the temperatures are going to go up to almost the 90s. So, and the pool's supposed to open this weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. God bless you, Granddad, by the way, for serving this country honorably. Too bad that my grandfather couldn't enjoy his life when he came back here from World War II. But anyway, thank you for joining up in this live stream. Thank you very much. So just to recap, so I went to Barnes & Noble and I went to Lids and GameStop. So Lids and Fanatics, they had no more Topps Chrome Black for sale. They sold out, which means I'm the one that bought them up. But Barnes & Noble was only allowing 2 boxes per customer, and that kind of got me a little perturbed, and I kind of barked at the girl a little bit, but I feel bad because I wasn't paying attention, and she has like a bit of a disability. And, you know, she was explaining to me, you know, I told her I'm a YouTube content creator. I don't flip boxes and stuff like that. Here's my YouTube channel, blah, 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 and all of that sort of thing. But she's like, you know, I hate to say it, you know, policy is policy. So I kind of grunted. I'm like, oh, shit, she's out-logicked me. She out-logicked me with store policy. But then again, I understand where she's coming from, and the manager was there. And I'm like, you know what? There's a time to take a knee and accept the L. And this is one of those times I said, man, listen, I apologize for being snippy or abrasive or anything like that. So forgive my demeanor. You know, it's because, you know, I'm a YouTube content creator, and I also run a small business out of my home, you know, selling sports cards, jerseys, and things like that. You know, I don't flip boxes of cards. That's not my thing. But I do buy them to rip on the channel because people enjoy that. So if I said anything that was out of line or got a little abrasive for my own good, I apologize for that. It's just awful because people like me who want this stuff can't get it. You know, with people now getting shot over Pokemon cards, you know, it's a sad thing now that, you know, everything is behind a glass wall these days. And she's like, no, I understand. I get why you're angry and frustrated. You know, I'm like, no, well, you know, sometimes even for my own good in my personal life, I can get a little too, you know, aggressive with my language, and I hope, you know, you can forgive me for that. So I really, you know, tried my best to be a gentleman about it. You know, I take the L and shut up, you know, basically. So, you know, she accepted my apology, and the manager was shaking his head, you know, in approval, which is cool, because I shouldn't have got nasty like that. That's my own fault. But it's awful because there's only 4 boxes left. I can't see the harm in letting me get them 4 boxes. But now I got five mega boxes, three of which, and again, thank you to GameStop for accepting my World Trade Center credentials and letting me get a discount. They gave me a $54 discount on everything I bought from GameStop. So that's awesome. I'm going to check out Target here in Ballantyne, and I haven't been to this Target in a long time. And there's a really nice Harris Teeter here that makes fantastic 12-inch subs, so I might get me a sub while I'm here. And that's it for the baseball cards, folks. I'm not buying any more after this, because with everything that I've bought, I have enough stuff to do reviews for weeks. Shockwave just came today from Entertainment Earth. Now, the only other 2 orders that I have on reserve are Krennics and Skywarp. And that should be it. I should be gold for a while. So I have enough stuff to talk about on the channel for weeks to come. And what's nice now is there's a nice mix of material to discuss on the channel, with the exception of a pair of sneakers that should be coming out tomorrow. The Nike Air Jordan 3 World's Best Dad, which are based on, I believe it was Michael Jordan's first NBA championship, that he fell on the floor after his dad died or something like that. And the design of the tiger print is supposed to emulate the carpet that he was lying down on to celebrate his accomplishment in honor of his father, which is something I kind of understand, you know, because my dad died last year, so I kind of get where that sentiment comes from. So there's plenty of stuff to review, folks. Again, now that I'm here in Target's parking lot. So how many of these did I buy? I forgot. 1, 2. So there were 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here are the mega boxes from Topps Chrome Update. 5 of them will rip. I'll do 1 box at a time to stretch it out a little bit. And then I bought 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 retail boxes, 4 blaster boxes that I bought. So So we got some material to go over, folks. When I get home, I'll probably do the first rip at my earliest convenience. I still want to go back and do the review of the New York Mets Piazza jersey and revisit that for all of you. I got plenty of Transformers to talk about. And if I'm able to get my hands on the world's best dad Nike Air Jordan 3s, I went over to Sold Priorities, which is my go-to spot for this stuff, to see if I can get the early drops. Unfortunately, they don't have them yet. But I just wanted to update all of you. I'm going to head into Target right now and see what they got. Thank you, everybody, for continuing to support the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications. Check out my eBay store. The Carolina Collector 001. The link is in the description box of every video in short and live stream that I do. Also, if you want to make a small one-time donation, the coffee link is below. Also, you can make a small donation if you want to support the channel. Thank you, everybody. To my eBay customers, I do have 2 eBay orders I need to process. Today, I'm kind of like taking my time to kind of spread everything out real nice. You know, I don't want to put myself in a spot where I'm boxed in. You know, obviously with the, you know, with my car, the decor inside the car, except for a good vacuuming, needs to be done, and a good wax job on the doors and all that stuff. The interior of the engine and all that stuff, I'm going to do that in due time. I'm expecting the first set of relays to come for the car's computer, and then there's going to be a bunch of other stuff that's coming. So little by little, folks. But I'll probably do a box rip tonight for my baseball card people, because you guys and gals have been asking for it. Ask and you shall receive, and now I got plenty to stretch out over the course of the channel. So take care, God bless, stay safe. I will see you probably later. Take care, everybody.